Hi friends, this is Krish, the Urban Naxal. Friends, there are parts of our brain, there are parts of our psychology which are quite logical, and then there are the parts of our psychology which are almost completely illogical and irrational. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter whether you are an Oxford professor or you are just a man on the street. It doesn't matter whether you are an MBA, whether you are a scientist, or whether you are a hawker selling pani puri. All of us have some parts of our psychology which are completely irrational. So I am going to point out to you one such irrationality, something that's not logical. There's a part of us that says, I believe in. And before I get into this, I want to tell you where I'm going with this. I want to talk about corporates and branding. This is not going to be a conversation about religion. This is not going to be a conversation about Lord Rama or about Allah or about Jesus Christ. But in the process of speaking about brands and the irrationality of brands, I will have to pass through the domain of theism, of belief in supernatural entities. So bear with me. So as I said earlier, there is something about believing in. So suppose a man says, I believe in Hinduism. What is he saying? What he is saying is, I have a set of unexplained beliefs which I have taken lock, stock and barrel from my ancestors. Usually someone who believes in something has just inherited a bunch of beliefs. He has not examined it. He doesn't want to examine it. If you try to make him examine it, he is going to get very angry. If a man believes in Allah or he believes in Islam, chances are he has not examined the concept properly. He doesn't want to examine it. He says, it gives me peace. Islam gives me peace. I want to accept Islam as it is. My forefathers were Muslim, and even if he is a convert, he will say, at last I have received peace through Islam, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about whether Allah exists or not. I don't want to talk about whether Prophet Muhammad was a good guy or a bad guy, or a pedophile, or a rapist and a murderer. I don't want to talk about it in those terms. And he will insulate himself. He will say, if he married a 6-year-old or a 9-year-old, it is because he was a product of his times. In those days, it was acceptable. In those days, children matured earlier. So basically, he doesn't want to examine it in terms of today's normal reality. He will create a special context to examine it. Same thing goes for Lord Rama. If you tell him Lord Rama is the guy who called his brother one day and told him, Lakshman, please take Sita. She's pregnant, but take her carefully in a chariot. Take her to the middle of the jungle, desert her, come back. Just desert her. Do as I say, nothing, no questions asked. And the reason was, some washerman beating up his wife says that I am not like Ram who takes his wife back after she has, spent the night in the roof of some other man, etc., etc. Now, what does this make Lord Rama? If you really logically think about it, in the context of today's reality, makes him a criminal. If you or I did that, we would be spending time in jail. We would be condemned. It's not just, we wouldn't just be criminals. We would be hated criminals. The kind of criminals who are written about in newspapers. The kind of criminals for whom hanging punishment is demanded. That is the kind of thing. Same thing about how Rama shot Wali. If one examines it in the context of today's laws, Rama has no reason to shoot Wali in the back with an arrow. It was Sugriva's dispute with Wali. Rama had no grounds, no basis. So we can talk about it, but the main point is nobody will want to examine religion. Nobody wants to examine their religious icons in this way with logic. We all want to do only one thing. We say, look, this is my belief, this is my belief system. Don't ask me further questions. I believe in this. So that is what when we say, that is what we mean when we say, I believe in this. That's the meaning of believe in. Otherwise, believe in is almost an ungrammatical sentence. What is the meaning of believe in? You believe something. Now, when you say you believe something, you believe based on logic. I believe the sky is blue. I believe the sky is mostly blue most of the times, except during sunset and sunrise. When the sun, the sky may be red or brilliant purple or all colors of the rainbow. I believe the sky is blue. So you are putting boundaries. I believe. I believe Narendra Modi is, let us say someone believes that he is an honest man. He believes based on his logic. But if he says, I believe in Narendra Modi, now he doesn't want to hear any criticism of Narendra Modi. He will not accept anything. He is the kind of guy who will stand outside, the venues where Modi comes and he'll say, Modi, Modi, Modi. Because now he believes in. He doesn't just believe. So, this is the difference between believe and believe in. Now, where am I going with this? Corporates, branding. When companies brand, when a brand grows, it has its roots in fact, in logic. So let us take the brand Godrej. It's a very interesting brand, Godrej. And I'm thinking about it in the context of Godrej properties. Godrej, every one of us remembers Godrej written in that nice curly font, like script writing. Godrej. What does that brand mean? You will remember cupboards, you will remember locks, you'll remember safes. So, why do you remember these things? Why is the word Godrej associated with that? And you'll also remember Jamshid Godrej, and you'll think of Parsis, and you'll think about Parsi honesty and Parsi integrity and Parsi finickiness and Parsi insistence on quality. So you'll think about the Parsi community. You may think of something very old fashioned like almost British era. So these are the words you associate with the word Godrej. And yes, you will think of it as 100% Indian. It's Indianness. You will think about the Indianness of it. Godrej is not some foreign brand. So these are the associations. Now what happens is, the word Godrej written in that way has come to mean all these things. But now you no longer just believe. Now you kind of believe in. I believe in Godrej. Nobody says that. Nobody says it that way. But the brand becomes something you believe in. So if the word Godrej is delinked from actual Godrej, and suppose the brand Godrej is sold to, let us say, an Arab. Let us say he is someone from Osama bin Laden's family. Then it could be Godrej by Al Habibi or some such thing. You can take Godrej. It is now a brand. And by the way, it is Godrej Properties is a brand, and that brand is owned by a Singapore-based company. And it is licensed to other companies to use. So Godrej Properties is now not just saying that Adi Godrej or Jamshid Godrej or Pirosha Godrej is involved. No, that's not what they are saying. They are saying, we have licensed these guys, some family, say Mhatre family, okay, or say Khan family, or some company, somebody, some entity, we don't care, Dawood Ibrahim family, is now used, is allowed, licensed to use Godrej brand. They can be sold. That brand, Godrej Properties, is sold. It's licensed. As long as they are paying us license fees, they can say that their project is Godrej Properties. So, on the bonnet, or rather the vehicle, so to speak, is Godrej Properties. You open the bonnet, you may find Dawood Ibrahim inside. You may find any crook inside. You may find a petty thief inside. You may find the world's best, greatest fraud inside that. Now, that word Godrej Properties, which means all that to you, is now used for something else. A word that you have associated with integrity is now used to sell something where there is no integrity. Why am I giving you the example of Godrej? Because this is exactly what they are doing. This is exactly what they are doing. Sometimes the name Godrej Properties doesn't mean that the company that is making it has too much association with Godrej. A project may not have any association or may have very little association with Godrej. Godrej may in fact be given a kind of a role, a project manager role, and they will use the word Godrej Properties. Is Godrej unique in this? No, Godrej is not unique. Larsen & Toubro. Larsen & Toubro, remember that brand? Beautiful engineering brand. Beautiful. Amazing brand. What do you associate it with? Professional management. Absolute professional management. Integrity. Quality. Engineering. These are the things you associate with Larsen & Toubro, L&T. Beautiful brand. What is it used for? It is used for cover-ups. Nirmal Lifestyle, there's a project. If you open it, all the permissions are taken by Nirmal. What is Nirmal? Today Nirmal is a dirt brand. They have defrauded. Its owners have gone bankrupt. They have failed to deliver projects repeatedly. They're a dirt brand. They're a kachra brand. They're a raddi brand. Nirmal Lifestyle. Absolute kachra brand. Nirmal Lifestyle has a project. They don't want to and they cannot sell it as Nirmal Lifestyle. They let L&T come and sit on top of it. L&T is some project manager or some such thing. On the face of it, it will look like an L&T project. They will sell it. On the surface. Shapoorji Pallonji. Almost a brand with the weight of, like Tata. Your associations, Shapoorji, Pallonji, Tata. Remember Cyrus Mistry? It's that same family. There's a lot of weight there. There's a lot of weight. There's a lot of brand equity, belief in Parsis, belief in their integrity, belief in, their old way of doing things. Shapoorji, Pallonji. They have lent their names to all kind of entities. And those entities are marketed, those projects are marketed as Shapoorji Pallonji brand. They market it as a Shapoorji project. And then later on you find, no, it is not Shapoorji. And then you try to contact Shapoorji. No, don't ask us, don't look at us. Don't look at us. You go and ask those guys. So, this is how brands are used. Now, why are brands used in this way? Because you believe in them. You just believe in them. The moment you see L&T or Godrej or Shapoorji Pallonji or Tata or any of these things, your brain shuts down. Tuck. Your brain closes. Hey, look no further, man. That's a Tata project. That's a Tata product. That's like a stamp of quality. Finished. Look no further. So your brain shuts down. You don't look any further. You just go and buy it. You are given a false sense of security. It's a false sense of security. It is not a real security. Tatas are not standing behind it. Ratan Tata is not standing behind it. They are not going to say, hey, wait, what is all this nonsense happening in our name? These guys, they spoiled our quality, they are spoiling our brand. We will reject them, we will disown them, we will sue them and we will give you back the money. They will not do that. They should do it. Can Godrej do that? It should do it. Instead, Godrej is taking the money, the hard-earned money of hundreds and thousands of flat buyers all throughout India. There are projects which are very shady projects. They are associated with very shady projects. They are doing projects which are very shady, and they are doing business in a very shady way. All throughout India. There are judgments against them. There are consumer court judgments against them. But they have an expert legal team, a crack team. Naturally, they're big money. So legal team gets paid big money, and that's a lot of power. Not to mention, it can buy judges. It can buy a lot of friendship in high places. The power of big business to do exploitative, to exploit people, to exploit the common man under the garb of the brand, the belief of the brand. Is there a solution? Is there a solution to this? A brand which has been created over decades and decades, a perception that has been created over decades and decades. Can the common man fight against this? My answer is yes, damn right you can. Damn right you can. And I'll tell you how. I want to start a movement for pulling down these brands. Not just the brands I named. Any brand. All brands. And here is how you do it. It's very simple. It's childishly simple. All you have to do is to make a short selfie video and say, I don't believe in the Godrej brand anymore. I have no trust in the Godrej brand anymore. The Godrej brand does not have any positive associations for me. It has negative associations. I dislike the Godrej brand. Is that defamation? Do you have to be a cheated buyer to make a selfie video like this? Answer is no. No. Why? Because a brand is just a brand. It's disembodied. Anybody can own it. Pirosha Godrej, Jamshid Godrej, Adi Godrej may own it. Godrej and Boys Company may own it. Or some family trust belonging to Godrej may own it. On the other hand, hey, it may have been licensed for use by Dawood Ibrahim. Who cares? It can be licensed for use by Baba Ramdev, Patanjali. And Patanjali is a brand. I'll give you an example. Patanjali is a brand. What does it stand for? Among other things, you will never expect to see anything non-vegetarian associated with Patanjali, correct? Al-Kabir is another brand. Al-Kabir, completely non-veg brand. All non-veg products, correct? Patanjali can be owned by Al-Kabir. Baba Ramdev can sell that to Al-Kabir, who's selling beef, who's selling all kinds of things, non-veg. So you can have Patanjali by Al-Kabir. You can have vice versa also. Al-Kabir can be sold to Patanjali. Al-Kabir by Patanjali. Why not? It can be done. Or Al-Kabir by Baba Ramdev. A brand is a disembodied thing. A brand is not a company. A brand is not a person. A brand is not a legal person. It's not a company. So Godrej Properties is a brand. It's a thing. A thing cannot be defamed. It's a perception. It's a group of perceptions. Like Islam, like Hinduism. It's vague. It is not rooted in reality. It cannot be defamed. It is not capable of being defamed. Because it is not a person. It is a thing. So it is perfectly okay for anybody, any random guy, completely random guy, who has nothing to do with Godrej Properties or who may have been a Godrej employee or may not have been a Godrej employee, maybe anybody random, to say, I have no faith in Godrej properties. I have no faith in the Godrej brand. Just make a selfie video and send it to me. I will publish it, no questions asked. I don't care who you are. And not just Godrej, of course. Any corporate. I have no faith in Lodha. I have no faith in Lodha. I have no trust in that brand. That brand not only means nothing to me, it means something negative to me. It is associated with exploitation. I associate it with cheating. I associate it with poor quality. I associate it with bad delivery, with poor timing of delivery. You can slam down a brand on social media. You can hammer it down. Any brand. L&T. I used to associate it with quality. I don't. I used to associate it with integrity. I don't. I used to associate this brand with quality engineering, with solid work. I don't anymore. You can say this. You can say it with impunity. You cannot be sued. You cannot be sued for defamation. I can publish this and I dare them to sue me for defamation. And those of you who feel scared that you will be sued for defamation, I'll blur your video. I'll blur your selfie video. If you have any reason to make these videos, any at all, I am not asking you questions. Any at all. You don't have to be a flat buyer. You don't have to be related to a flat buyer. You don't have to have lost money to Godrej or Lodha or L&T or anybody. Whatever your reasons are, they are not consequential because it's not logical. The whole thing is not logical. When a positive perception is not logical, a negative perception cannot be logical. When a positive perception has been created by pure advertising and not based on fact and performance and actual product and actual delivery and actual service, a negative perception does not have to be based on anything. Doesn't have to be based on fact. Doesn't have to be based on an actual grievance. Hey, you just say it. I have lost trust. I have no trust in this brand. Just say it. That's it. It's that simple. I'm Krish, the Urban Naxal. Jai Maharashtra, Jai Hind, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.